In this tutorial, we are going to write a program which is going to get an input, a number, and it's going to output all the odd numbers which are less than or equal to the numbers specified. The algorithm is given here. We are going to start, read or get an input n. Then we are going to start from I equal to 1 because 1 is the first odd number. And then we are going to display I. Then we're going to go and add 2 to I to get the next odd number. We are going to continue this loop until the value of I is less than or equal to the input number. And then we are going to end the program. So let's go ahead and see how we can accomplish this. As usual, we are going to sign in into App Inventor. Then we're going to start a new project and we're going to call it display odd numbers. First, let's change the text of the app. So we go down and we're going to write odd numbers. We need somehow to get an input from the user. So we need a layout, a horizontal one. We set the width to be fill parent. Then we are going to add a label and we're going to change the text to number, and we are going to change the hint on this text box. Now we are going to drag and drop a text box beside the label. We are going to change the hint to say type a number, and we're going to change the name of the text box to number. The next thing we need is a button, and we're going to change the text to start. Now, as the previous tutorial, because we need to print all these numbers on a separate line, we better use something like a text box with the multi-line option to be true. So I'm going to bring a text box and put it under the button. I call it, let's say, output, and I'm going to set the hint to nothing, to blank, and I'm going to set the multi-line to be true. So now I have the text box to enter a number, a button to start the process, and another text box to show all the odd numbers. So we are ready to start our programming. So as usual, with the button I need, when the button is clicked, I need somehow to keep track of the numbers to display. So I need a global variable and I call it temp. And initially temp is equal to blank. Now within the block, I need to have a for loop. So I need a for loop. I'm going to start from 1. I'm going to go to maximum. The number that I entered which is in number. I change this one to text. So I'm going to go to number.text and I'm going to increment it by 2. And every time I do that, I have to add it to temp. So I go over temp and I'm going to say set temp. Now I need to append all these together. So I'm going to need a join. In fact, I need 2 joins. So I'm going to have the old temp. So I get the temp. And I'm going to add I, or the number. Let's change this to I. So I need to get I. And then I'm going to add a next line character. And I'm going to have /, and I'm going to add it to temp. So this is going to, temp is going to have all the odd numbers from 1 to number.text. When I am done with all these, I'm going to assign output to this value. So I'm going to say set output text to be equal to temp. This is all we need for this. But there is going to be a problem here that I'm going to show you what exactly is the problem. So I'm going to start the emulator. Mine is already running, so it says odd numbers and numbers start, and this is the output. So let's say I enter 10 here. If I click start, you can see it starts with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then it stops. Now let's add, instead of 10 now, let's make it 20. If I click start, you can see that it starts from 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and then 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and it goes up to 19. The reason is that whenever you click start, it takes the temp value and it appends all these odd numbers. But if you run the app more than once, temp is going to have the previous temp value. So there is a bug with this program, and it's right here. We are not initializing temp to blank every time we click OK. So what we have to do is that we have to set temp to blank inside the button one.click. So I'm going to say set here, and then I'm going to say blank, temp is equal to blank. Now every time I click the process button or start button, it's going to set blank temp to blank. So if I go back here and run it, let's say for, if I click and run for 10, you can see now that our text box is going to have only all the odd numbers from 1 to 10. If I change it to 5, you can see it's only 1, 3, 5.